Oh my god. The books that I read in March. Whoa. And it's April. What the heck is going on here? Killers of the Flower Moon by David Gran, Attached by Amir Levine and Rachel S.F. Heller, and then The Power by Rhonda Byrne. All the books that I read this last month were nonfiction. Claps to me because I just sometimes it's a little hard to read nonfiction. I need a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of spice. But Killers of the Flower Moon had that and more. And then Attached helped me understand a lot of people and the way that they function, and The Power just gave me a lot of good spiritual information. Okay, we're going to be summarizing each book, talking about kind of how I found the book, the standouts of the book, and then a rating, and then kind of my spoiler thoughts. So we're gonna start off with Killers of the Flower Moon. Sorry, Killers of the Flower Moon is a historical piece based in the 20s by David Gran. I just recorded a video, which will probably be out either before or after this. I don't know. Go find it if you want to. Which is comparing the book to the movie. Spoiler: I liked the book so much more than the movie. It's hard because I'm gonna have a hard time rating this because it's like, how do you rate a nonfiction book? Because it's like, do you rate the idea that the information is being presented this way? Are you rating the story, which is a horrific story? I don't know. Sorry, let me get back on track. A historical piece based in the 20s on the Osage Nation in Oklahoma. The Osage were the most wealthy people per capita. I think it's the most wealthy area per capita of their time. The Osage Indians used to live in Kansas, were bought out by the government and placed into kind of the area that they were in, which is the Osage area, Gray Horse. They struck oil, and which made them the wealthiest people. People were trying to take advantage of that wealth and get into their wealth by murdering them. The book explores the ways in which they were murdered, why nobody was doing anything about it, and then revealing to us who was in charge of the murders and who was taking advantage of the Osage, because a lot of people were taking advantage of the Osage, but the person who was in kind of what's the word, controlling everything, was a Shaw. I found this book because Leonardo DiCaprio was playing in it. Of course, I think it even had Oscar for Best Picture. I'm not sure. I knew it because it's very popular. It's getting a lot of talk. Anything Leo's in, Leo's gonna catapult. I went into this book because it was popular and because it was being talked about in pop culture. I came out of this book after reading it a much more educated, informed human being about the tragedies in which America has placed on Native Americans, because we all know that. We all know that Native Americans have been widely mishandled in this country, along with a lot of other oppressed groups. But I don't feel like I know enough. I feel like especially as an African immigrant, it's hard to for me, and as an African immigrant who's not interested in history, who didn't necessarily do incredibly well in academics when I was younger, I just felt like I wouldn't be interested in a story of the oppressed to just kind of be shown the ways in which they're oppressed. But this was incredibly interesting and brought justice to the Osage and their stories. That's kind of what I'm taking out of this book, is just knowing our history is very powerful, and knowledge is power. So strap yourself with a bunch of history, with a bunch of knowledge that you can learn from so many different books. So now we'll get into the standouts. I liked this book because the way the information was presented, oh my god, I don't know why I did that. It was so uncomfortable. Chef's kiss to that. I thought this was going to be a work of fiction. I didn't even know it was nonfiction. The way that the information was presented, it kept you intrigued. It didn't make you feel bored by learning all of these facts. Also, as somebody who used to live in Oklahoma, fun fact, I used to live in Oklahoma for a tiny little bit, as my parents were missionaries, and we used to do our little furlough things there. I learned the definition of a Sooner in this book. Well, why the heck is there a football team named the Oklahoma Sooners if the Sooner is based off of people who came to claim the land in Oklahoma because the Cherokees were essentially kind of bought out, kicked out? and they were people who came too soon and were shot down. Why the heck is that the name of a football? What? I didn't know what I was getting into, and I came out. I just feel like a lot more of a smarter, more intelligent person. Okay. I'm gonna rate this book a solid 4. I might even give it a 4. No, I'm just gonna give it a 4. What are we doing? I can't give it a 5 because it just is really horrific and bothersome. I enjoy learning about it, but reflecting on it and taking it in is a little bit hard for me as a sensitive person. My spoiler thoughts. Is there anything to spoil? I don't even think there's anything to spoil. If you want to get all of my spoiler thoughts and you have watched the movie, go to my movie versus book Killers of the Flower Moon video. It should be out. Next, we have Attached by Amir Levine and Rachel S.F. Heller. I learned about the attachment styles. Why am I doing that? Attachment styles, because I feel like a lot of people are talking about attachment styles. It's just kind of one of those like things that people know about, like the term, like literally just any therapy term. Like we just know a bunch of terms all of a sudden because pop culture just like circulates random things and puts them in our vocabulary. So I was like, let me like read a little bit more about this. So all of the attachment styles, also I'm going to be missing some because they focused on anxious attachment, secure attachment, avoidant attachment. I think there might be like another one I'm missing, but can't remember. Also, I didn't mention that I read Killers of the Flower Moon through the library, through a physical book. I didn't read it on audio, but I read Attached in an audiobook, and it was so nice to sit down and just intake the information. So I've learned that I am securely attached mixed with, whoa, I did not say that correctly. I'm anxiously attached, but I have a lot of patterns and habits that are mainly securely attached as I'm married now for nearly 2 years. But definitely grew up very anxiously attached. I didn't know exactly what avoidant was, but avoidant, I definitely in my younger years was a more avoidantly attached person. Let me look this up before I get this incorrect. Hold on. Yeah, she read the crap out of this for sure. Avoidant attachment is an attachment style a child develops when their parent or main caretaker doesn't show care or responsiveness past providing essentials like food and shelter. The child disregards their own struggles and needs in order to maintain peace by their caregiver close by. Okay. So avoidant attachment in terms of like as a child, that of course describes it, but I think as an adult and in romantic relationships, avoidantly attached people are mainly based in anxiety. They like to distract themselves and they repress the crap out of their feelings. Definitely used to growing up, probably like 80% of me and myself was anxiously attached. And securely attached people are people who have been giving a lot of love, who have been giving, who have been given a lot of love and have a lot of love to give. A lot of therapists are did I say anxiously attached? I meant secure if I did. Sorry. People who are very confident and self assured in themselves. It's kind of just in the name. And anxiously attached people just are constantly looking for reassurance and work best with securely attached people. A rating, I give this book a solid 3 because although it was a great book, the information was great to learn about. I'm not going to read it again. Got a little bit boring after a certain point. I was like, okay, I understand the basics of this, and I feel like that's it. And I don't have any spoiler thoughts about this because I just. Okay, so then we have The Power by Rhonda Byrne. I was saying Brine this whole entire time. Her name does not look like that. The Power is an extension of The Secret, and then also she has a bunch of manifestation specific books. So The Power is based in the idea that we all can access our own power in manifesting and controlling our lives. This is going to be the shortest description I'm ever going to give because I'm getting really tired, Mama. So tired. It's just basically a manifestation book focused on the tactics of how you can manifest things with your energy and how your energy is powerful. I found this book because I like read The Secret. I was going to read The Secret again. It wasn't available. So I was like, I'll just read one of her other books. My husband, because this woman has like so many books that are kind of along the same theme, It's like The Power, The Secret, The Magic. My husband's like, okay, the cash grab, which is not factual. Rhonda, I love you. But she just has a lot of books that are very similar. Rating, I give The Power a 5 out of 5. No, that didn't feel right. I give The Power a 4 out of 5. Yeah, that feels correct. No, there's no spoiler thoughts. Just read it literally. That's hard. It's hard to spoil a nonfiction book. That's all I have. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time of day it is, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night.